She's taking no damage while phased. There we go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it is time to do the initial review, the initial wow of Kitty Pryde. She can be absolutely incredible, kind of bewildering. In fact, while I was doing it, I really had to check myself and think, like, is this actually allowed in the game? Should this be allowed? And apparently it is. And I think there's a good reason why it is. We'll discuss that more at the end and why I'm saying she can be amazing. I think what you're going to see, though, is definitely amazing, incredible, insane, and all of those awesome adjectives. Now, this is all thanks to being part of the content creator program. After, this is no longer available, she'll be removed from my account unless I get her on my live account, which I will be trying to do. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. We're going to look at 3 simple fights. This is a 5-star SIG 200. I am running the recoil tree. This is the Axe 6.4 Deadpool. If you're familiar with my channel, you know this is where we test champions because we do have to deal with power gain. What's weird is Kitty seems to kind of mitigate some of that. So as you can see, we're just doing a lot of backdraft intercepts once we get the 3 prowesses. Now remember, one of the negatives we heard about her was she has to stun. How many times have you seen me stun him in this fight? She's getting these prowesses off of her critical hits, and then I have a synergy in there that is helping these out. You also noticed, if you're paying attention, once I got to 10 prowess, every time she faced, she went unblockable. That's why I was just diving in with almost reckless abandon. There's a couple things you need to watch out for, but you can be pretty reckless with this through the SP3 once I was phased, which is going to extend the phase, I think, for 4 seconds after I come out. Also put on a 30-second passive incinerate, and I believe that might even be extended by being phased when I threw it. And then now we're just going to go to town. Because we have the incinerate on him, it's going to be raising our thermometer. I can't remember the technical term for it, but in the upper left-hand corner, which is increasing the potency of our prowesses, right? Which we were building up. We need those to get going so that we can phase and then also throw those much larger specials. If Deadpool had more life, you would get to see a delicious, huge SP2 here. I didn't get all the way to SP2. I threw the SP1, just figuring stuff out. And she is going to destroy this guy. This would have been even faster if I had just built to that second SP2, which you will see in the next fight. I just wanted to show you something super basic, super clean. Look at her health bar, running recoil tree that whole time. And I think I threw 2 special 1s and 1 special 3. So, recoil there. It's just... Okay, so now we're going to move on to this Venom the Duck. Keep in mind, he has 300,000 health. There's the initial stun just to get going. You're going to see me try to build a prowess. I did not crit at all, so I'm going to have to continue to work on that. But again, no more stuns. Still no stuns. Had to do a little backdraft. Now we're able to phase. Now I'm able to phase with the 3 prowesses. As soon as I get to 10, I'm going to go unblockable. That is through a synergy. We'll talk about that at the end. But now I am unblockable every single time I phase. Look, it's just happening. This is why I really like her. Now watch this. Look at this. You can just phase the special attack. You want to be careful with it. It's going to take some getting used to. I'm going to show it to you in the next fight too. And you can get it wrong. But I think this is a champion that as you play her, as you get the nuance on the spacing and the things she can do, I think the sky is really the limit with this champion. I was not able to test her for long. I was already able to pull some of this stuff off. Remember, he had almost 320,000 health. We've gone to our SP3. We've got the nice passive incinerate on now, which is raising our thermometer, which is going to increase the potency of our prowesses. Now it's just a matter of just doing the backdraft intercepts, which are extremely safe. When you're phasing, you are stun immune anyway. Now I'm also can't be hit, and I'm unblockable. And as you saw, he threw his SP1. You just phase it. You just phase it. Here we go. We're setting this up. Now watch this here. The thermometer keeps going up, so the potency is getting bigger and bigger. Now look at this. You see, I'm backing up a little bit. I'm going unblockable. I knew I was going to be fine, so I'm phased and unblockable. And this special, it kills him. It did over 150,000 in damage, and it finished him off. That was just an SP3 to an SP2, a lot of backdraft intercepting, which is kind of how you're playing this game anyway. When I first started playing her, I was trying to play her like Ghost. Aside from the miss, I think this is a very, very different champion. Now, I wanted to show you another fight. It's the next fight on that lane. If you go this direction, it's going to be against this Arcus. Going to be a lot of power gain, right? Stuff we've got to worry about. He's going to armor break and put on the cold snap. This got this thermostat. Well, she is, thanks to Lockheed there, she is actually incinerate immune. So we don't need to worry about that. Check this out. Check this out. I'm very, very much wanting to grab this champion. So we're going to start off with the stun here, trying to trigger his tenacity so we can get the stun to get this started. If you can't stun, you can just do the backdraft intercepts or intercepts in general. You see they're already working. You see how quickly we've gotten going here. I'm going to try to bait a couple SP1s. Now you're going to see me make a few mistakes in this. I'm going to take a few hits, but it's because I was trying really hard to show you guys what you can do against opponent specials as you get the spacing down. You see I tried a backdraft intercept there. It failed because he stepped back. He did a sidestep, but she's invisible and she's stun immune. So I just had to take control, block, no big deal, and then create enough space. I think here comes the mistake. I did this fight a few times. I really wanted to show it to you. I don't land it there. We are going to get it here at the end of the fight though. And then this is also something to keep in mind. And here's why you're just seeing me attack in with like reckless abandon. You want to make sure you get all the way back. You do need to have enough space to have a full dash to trigger the phasing. So that's why you're seeing me really make sure I'm back. See how we just keep backing up like a crazy person? It's because I want to make sure the phasing gets triggered. If you don't back up enough, you might not trigger the phasing, and then you could have a real problem. But here we go. So this one I tried to block. I just didn't have it right. I'm going to get it right. We're just doing backdraft intercepts. We're unblockable. We're phased. And then keep in mind, when you have her at Sig 200, she's taking no damage while phased. There we go. I really think the trick was, I haven't tested against every champion, every fight, but the trick is you just do your backdraft intercept. You don't try to time it with the special. You just do it. You're not going to take damage anyway. You're going to be fine. Closes in with a really nice special too. The longer the fight goes and the longer you have incinerates up, the higher your thermometer is getting. It can go all the way up to 400, which is increasing the potency on your prowesses. There's ways to even get above those limits based on how you're playing her. There's a lot in this gal's kit. I played her for a while and was just absolutely blown away. Like once a few of the things clicked for me, that you could just play her so, it's not reckless, it's intelligently reckless. It appears reckless. You can't just go crazy because you're gonna not trigger the phasing, or you're not going to trigger the phasing because you're not gonna have enough distance, or you're not gonna have enough prowess. Now, here's why I said can. One is you can't just play her like an insane person, because you do need to have the distance and you do need to make sure you have the prowess. But also, I played her without the Sig ability. I didn't like it as much. It was earlier on in my testing, but I just didn't like it as much. I like the pure having no damage back while phasing. Plus, additionally, the Sig ability gives there to be a chance for the incinerates to reapply themselves. It's not a massive chance, but when you're throwing the SP1 and it's got 3, you get up to a 40% chance for them to reapply, which is important for having that really large SP2, right? With the thermometer going up high and increasing the potency of your prowesses. So I do really like her Sig ability. It also has the 200 all the way up to 250% defensive combat power rate while phasing if you are struck, right? So if someone has a miscounter, or it worked out for me a couple times off of my SP3 or their SP3, I was phasing, I threw my SP3, they were immediately gone to their SP3, they then hit into me, and I was shot way back up. I think it was like 2.5 bars of power from that SP3. So that was really cool too. That was a cool interaction. I think her Sig I think it's important. I think if you get really used to her, you probably don't have to have it. And I'm looking forward to testing that on stream here, probably the same day you're watching this video. And then also I'm saying can because I had her synergized up. Now, she's synergized up with champions who you are probably really happy to take along in quests. The most important one, as far as my testing was concerned, was with Tigra. And that was why I was able to go unblockable by just having 10 prowess. Now there are other ways to go unblockable, but this was like a guaranteed, allowed you to play crazy. If you don't have her, you're not going to go unblockable. But remember, you're still not going to take damage while phased, and you still can't be stunned. You're pretty safe. You're pretty safe. So it might not be as easy or as smooth, but I think through playing her, you're going to get to that point where it's not that big of a deal. I'm very excited to find out for myself. The other synergies that were there that I think are very nice to have is with Ghost, who does not mind taking Ghost along. That meant entering phase, each time the opponent missed, that occurred during the phase granted additional prowess. That's how I was able to get to prowess up so rapidly. However, you can only get to 20 anyway, and there are some ways to go above that limit, but those have short durations on them too. So again, I don't think you have to have that. And then with Dragon Man, who I absolutely love taking along as well, and this was really nice for Dragon Man on his side of it. But this increased the duration of the Incinerate debuffs by 10%, and then the passive Incinerates by 15%. That's just more time for you to get your meter up, for you to get to your SB2 and things like that. I don't think that's really necessary, but it was very nice to have, and maybe if you don't have her awakened, that becomes just that much more important. There's going to be things this gal can't do. She doesn't really have an evade counter. She doesn't have a miss counter or an auto block counter, except for the unblockable. Hello. But she can't do everything. She can't do everything. And what I really think would be nice is let's try not to compare her to Ghost. I think this is her own separate champion. She is Kitty Pryde. She is not Ghost. They can both phase. They can both do immense damage. But they are, in fact, very, very different. And I think if you get her, or if you're curious about getting her, I think the quicker you just think of her as her own distinct champion, the better off you're going to be, and the quicker you'll get how to play her. I know that I am going to be trying to get her, and through crystals or what have you, or then saving for when she comes into the future if the hunt doesn't work out. I think she's awesome. I think she's a quality addition to the game. She can clearly help handle the true focus nodes. She can do tremendous damage. The Incinerate does seem to be a part of it. I don't know how well she's going to do against Incinerate immune champions, but I'm really looking forward to testing that. If you have any thoughts, please let me know. Are you excited about Kitty? Do you think she's going to be really usable? Are there places you'd like to see her tested? I am going to be testing her on stream today. It will be much more in-depth. We'll test her with and without all these synergies, awakened, unawakened, and have a great time with it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.